hearing about it. Well, this is the executive committee. It's Friday, January 8th, 2021. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody. I think we don't yet have any representatives from the city of San Diego or the county, but maybe when they come, if they are new members, we'll introduce them.
Madam Chair, I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, welcome. There's
Who's that? Wait. Oh, it's
Mayor.
Yeah, he's
Mayor
somebody,
Gloria.
Somebody. Morning, Mayor Gloria. Good to see you.
I think this
Good
is
morning,
his
everybody.
first executive meeting. So you want to say hello?
I would be delighted. Yeah, I'm not my first, but first after a long hiatus. And I'm really glad to be back, particularly under your leadership, Chair Blakespear, and to my colleagues who are here. I think some of you who I was fortunate to serve with the last time know how much I enjoyed working at Sandag. The ability to work regionally with other cities in our county government was just something I really enjoyed during my 8 years on the city council. I'm really excited to be back. I think we have a lot of tremendous opportunities ahead of us. I look forward to partnering with everyone on this committee, on the board in general, to build a world-class transportation system for our region.
Well, thank you for that great summary.
We're mayors, we have to be efficient, right?
That's right. Okay, so let's get started. I think we have a relatively easy agenda for this meeting. So we have the first item is approval of the meeting minutes of December 4th. I would entertain a motion.
Move approval. Salas.
Second, Bill Wells.
Thank you very much. For the City of San Diego, Mayor Gloria.
Aye.
Thank you. For the County of San Diego, is Supervisor Lawson-Remmer on by chance? Oh, I see her on the attendees list. I'll give her just a moment. Sorry, it looks like we're having some technical, oh, never mind. Supervisor Lawson-Remmer, are you able to give your vote?
Yes, thank you for moving me.
Yep, sorry about that. All right, for East County, Mayor Wells.
Yes.
Thank you. For North County Coastal, Chair Blakespear.
Yes.
Thank you. For North County Inland, Mayor Voss.
If he's not in attendance, I can fill in. I'm alternate, Rebecca Jones.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I'll go ahead and take your vote, and then we're working on getting Mayor Voss set up.
Good. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Voss. Sorry about the technical difficulties this morning. And for South County, Mayor Salas.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and that does pass unanimously.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to give our Supervisor Lawson-Remmer a chance to say hello. This is her first exec committee meeting, I think.
Hi, thank you so much, Catherine. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm really looking forward to working with everyone, and you know, it's going to be an exciting year. So wish we were in person, but you know, we'll get through this.
Okay, great. Thank you. So now we're on to public comments.
The official shaka of the executive committee. So, anyway. so does Todd. Anyway.
Okay, now we're on to public comments. Do we have any non-agenda public comments?
No, Chair, I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. And do we have any member comments? I'm not hearing any or seeing any hands. So we will move on to the Executive Director's report. Hassan.
Thank you, Chair Blakespear. Good morning to all of you. It's good to be with you. Mayor Blakespear, congratulations on your first meeting. You're doing great so far. My staff and I are really looking forward to working with you this next couple of years. I want to welcome Supervisor Terry Rimmer to Sandag, and I want to welcome the mayor of the second largest city in the state and the 8th largest city in the nation, Todd Gloria. It's an honor and a pleasure to have him back at SCAG. The staff keep telling me, oh my God, he used to be great. Keep it that way, Mayor, please. Thank you to all. I'm looking forward to working with all of you, returning members. Happy New Year to all of you. We are going to have great things happen this year. This year, we are going to open the largest transportation infrastructure projects in the county's history. That's the Mid-Coast, where the trolley Mid-Coast is gonna guarantee a one-seat ride from the border all the way to the University of California, San Diego. An amazing project. This is a project where if you decide to take the trolley, pre-COVID-19, it will take you less time in the peak than if you drive on the 5. That is exactly how we want our future transit to work. Be competitive with the automobile. We want people to make it a choice because it's a better choice, or at least as good as driving. So we will be opening this amazing project. You will be opening this amazing project this year. This year also, we're gonna be adopting our 5 big moves. This is right now by far the talk of the state of how to move forward in a transportation system. This is where together with all of you, we allow San Diegans to dream. And now it's up to you to make this dream realities, to build the system of the future that for generations to come, they will be grateful for your leadership for putting that. This will happen also November of this year. We will continue to coordinate with the state agency and to align mandates and work in cooperation. And hopefully meet in person, not on Zoom this year, because the COVID-19 vaccine will have been successfully deployed. I'm sure we're going to talk about that today at the board meeting. While we're celebrating the new year, it is a solemn time. We have witnessed moments of darkness in our nation this week as the US Capitol was overrun. It was deeply disturbing and a stark reminder of American long history of inequality. But I'm confident we have better and brighter days ahead, and together we can make that happen. At your next meeting on January 22nd, we will be bringing to you a statement outlining our commitment to equity in everything we do. And I'm grateful for your leadership to carry that discussion, that debate. It is about time that we commit to equity in transportation. Shortly before the holidays, a team of Sandag employees was tasked with preparing an equity statement to show our commitment to the communities we serve. I'm so proud of the amazing team who spent hours over the holidays going over everywhere to make sure it was the right word. We recently established our Employee Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council, known as DEI Council. The council reviewed the statement and provided necessary insights. We shared our draft statement with our community-based organization working group yesterday. Our Social Service Transportation Advisory Council will review the statement at its January 9th meeting. We're sharing it with sister agencies, stakeholders. We think that this statement will speak and reflect who we are as an agency. The statement is only the beginning of our commitment to develop an equity action plan to guide our work. Statements are nice, but if you don't follow these statements with actions, they don't mean anything. And I commit to you, my team and I will bring to you an action plan to cement all the words in this statement. For that reason, we also embarked on a coordinated effort for Southern California to bridge the digital divide. At your January 22nd meeting, Sandag Director of Mobility and Innovation, Antoinette Mayer, will present efforts across the state to address the digital divide. And so just to clearly and make sure that people understand the digital divide. There is a gap between those who do and those who do not have reliable access to high-speed internet, computers, smartphones. Much like a transportation system, the broadband system needs to be expanded into the communities that suffer without it, especially the kids who are learning remotely today. We joined other Southern California agencies, other supervisors from the 7 counties in Southern California, signing a resolution to commit to working with the private sector to minimize or eliminate the digital divide that exists. We are ready to move this discussion of future technology to the next level. I am happy to report to you that we received the second highest award from the U.S. Department of Transportation, $9.3 million grant to look at and deploy congestion management technologies on the border region. In total, the federal highway awarded $49.6 million. We are the second, and we're the only one in California. And I am so grateful for my team, Antoinette and her team, Julie Wiley and her team, for putting a grant that the U.S. Department of Transportation could not say no to. And this is a very small payment in cementing one of the 5 big moves, which is the next operating system. This award means a lot because it is about future mobility, and the U.S. Department of Transportation chose SANDAG and the San Diego region to be doing that. I want to conclude my report by saying I am truly looking forward to working with you. You make decisions. You're the policy decision makers. My staff and I will make recommendations. We're gonna bring you a lot of tough issues, but you are the leaders who's gonna solve through them. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Happy New Year, Mayor Blakespear. That concludes my report.
Well, thank you for that information. I think we'll also hear some of that at the board meeting. So I appreciate you sharing it with the executive committee. Our next item is a review of draft agendas. This is item number 4. So I'll call on Victoria.
Sorry, Chair, if we could take public comments on item 3 before we move on.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Do we have public comments?
We do not, but I wanted to give an opportunity.
Oh, okay. We do not have public comments on item 3. So now we will move on to item 4.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
Good morning. So I'll be going over the draft January 22nd board meeting. Your first item is public comments, followed by Policy Advisory Committee Chair's report. And then Hassan will be providing an Executive Director's report. Under your consent calendar, we have item number 4, which is approval of the meeting minutes. Item number 5, we will be moving to the February agenda. Item number 6 will be related specifically to the Enterprise Resource Planning System request for proposals and released for solicitations. Item number 7 is the Policy Advisory Committee actions. Item number 8 is an MOU with the county related to commercial paper from the Transnet program. Item number 9 will be looking for an adopt, which is an interloan fund from the EMP program to the Transnet Major Corridors program. Item number 10 is a specialized transportation grant program, COVID-19, where we'd be looking at granting exceptions to the grants related to COVID-19. Item number 11 is the Executive Director's delegated actions. Item number 12 is an information item related to meetings and events attended on behalf of SANDAG. Under the chair's report, we'll have item number 13, which is the election of the 2021-2022 SANDAG Board Vice Chair. In addition, we'd also like to add an item related to participation in the Litter Abatement Subcommittee and the Audit Committee. Under reports, we have, as Hassan mentioned, item number 14, which is the SANDAG Social Equity Framework. We'll be looking for an approve, followed by item number 15, which is an update on the SANDAG DBE program. Item number 16 is also related to what Hassan was speaking about, which is bridging the digital divide. So we'll be adopting a resolution, and Antoinette will be bringing that for you. And item number 17 is the Transnet 2021 bond issuance. So per that, we will be presenting this information to the board. That concludes the normal session or regular section. And then we have two closed session items. The first one related to RENA and the second one related to a property settlement related to the Mid-Coast Corridor Transit Project. That concludes the January 22nd agenda. Would you like me to go on to the February 12th and vote on them together, or did you want to take them individually?
Let's go ahead to the next one and vote on them together.
Okay, thank you. For your draft February 12th Board of Directors meeting, we have item number 1, which is public comment, followed by item number 2, Policy Advisory Committee Chair's report, and an Executive Director's report. On your consent calendar, you have approval of the meeting minutes, followed by Executive Director Delegated Actions. We'd also like to add an item under the consent related to state funding for Otay Mesa East. This item would be going through the Transportation Committee on February 5th and then coming to the board. Under reports, you have item number 6, which is for information. Colleen Clemenson will be providing a update on the regional plan, moving from the vision to the plan. Item number 7 is the South Bay Expressway SR 125 overview. We'll be continuing the dialogue related to this program. Item number 8 is the SANDAG proposed 2021 series bond issuance. Actually, items number 8, 9, and 10 are all financing mechanisms for the Transnet program related to new debt and issuing note issuances for Series A and taxable refunding. And we'll be looking for an adopt for numbers 8, 9, and 10. So that concludes the February 12th Board of Directors proposed agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. Francesca, do we have any public comments?
No, Chair, no public comments.
Okay. And if we have any member comments, you,
Chair, just one quick one, if I may.
yes,
Hi,
Councilmember Zito.
thank you. Thank you for recognizing me. And also, Happy New Year, everyone. I'll say that quickly before I get into it. I just had a quick comment, which is on the January 22nd agenda, item number 20. Since there's going to be a bunch of new board members and that these agenda documents are public, I think it's important to be accurate in our representation, and it's worth clarifying and making sure that when we bring this forward again, that the subject of the litigation isn't the regional needs housing assessment allocation. The subject of the litigation in item number 20 is the use of a weighted vote in the appeals process, which is a different topic, although it's related. So I just think it'd be useful to be clear about that in the future. Thank you.
And I think you're referring to item number 19.
Sorry, it's item number 20 on the published agenda. It will be item number 19.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think if you review the litigation, the prayer for relief actually states overturning the RENA decision that was made by this board. So how it's characterized is something that is clearly of concern to you, but it's hard to say that it's about the weighted vote when the prayer for relief is overturning RENA.
Okay, actually, I think the prayer for release is to overturn it and revote in it without a weighted vote. But
I'll let the attorney weigh in here, Mr. Kirk.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would completely agree with your assessment. The reason it's noticed as it is based upon the prayer for relief. And the very first item in the prayer for relief is the overturn of the RENA allocation. And as it's noted, the closed session references a challenge to the RENA allocation, not generally a discussion of the RENA allocation. So as a public information document under the Brown Act, this is worded such that the public knows the general tenor of the litigation rather than the legal theories upon which the prayer for relief is based.
okay, yeah, I just thought it was useful because of the way the story goes up, but that's fine. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So seeing no other board hands. We are looking for a motion on this.
So moved. Gloria.
I think Mary Salas is trying to second. You are muted.
Yes, second.
Thank you very much. For the City of San Diego, Mayor Gloria.
Aye.
Thank you. For the County of San Diego, Supervisor Lawson Remer.
Aye.
Thank you. For East County, Mayor Wells.
Yes.
Thank you. For North County Coastal, Chair Blakespear.
Yes.
Thank you. For North County Inland, Mayor Voss.
Yes.
Thank you. And for South County, Mayor Salas.
Yes.
Thank you. And that passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. We are now on to item number 5, which is our monthly legislative status report, and we will call on Robin.
See you all. Just checking to make sure you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So 2021, unsurprisingly, is going to be a big year legislatively. There was one change since our election update at your last executive committee meeting in December. Assemblymember Shirley Weber has been nominated to serve as the next California Secretary of State, given the vacancy that was created due to the current Secretary, Alex Padilla's appointment to the U.S. Senate by Governor Newsom. This is going to leave a vacancy in our legislative delegation that will need to be filled by a special election. So we'll be watching that closely to see who our new representative will be. In Sacramento, lawmakers are scheduled to start the 2021 legislative session this Monday. As usual, dozens of bills have already been introduced, however, will change as they move through the cycle. Again, we're expecting a much more limited package of bills this year with the focus, of course, on response and recovery. We've heard that in the Assembly, at least, there's going to be a limit of just 12 bills per person, as opposed to the goal about 24, a couple dozen each year. One of the bills that has already been introduced is Assembly Bill 111 by Assemblymember Tasha Borner Horvath, which would provide $5 million for the long-term study to move the rail corridor off of the Del Mar Bluffs. If you remember, this was a bill that she introduced year, but given the shift to the focus on COVID, it did not move forward, so she's reintroduced it. Of course, it's still going to continue to be a difficult year to move this bill given the current budget climate. However, we of course very much appreciate the efforts by Assemblymember Borner Horvath, Senator Atkins, and our entire legislative delegation, to be honest, to continue to maintain a focus on this important project. In a week or so, California Secretary of Transportation, David Kim, is going to be releasing the final report for the Los San Diego Regional Rail Corridor Working Group, which had its last meeting in November. To say that the working group was a success would be an understatement. You heard us talking about it all through 2020, through the leadership of Secretary Kim and California Transportation Commissioner Christine Kehoe, and I partnered with the NCTD last year to bring together an unprecedented coalition of local, statewide, and national electeds and stakeholders. And we're very proud to say that through that effort, we successfully identified all of the funding that we will need to finally stabilize us. In addition to AB 111, we will continue to participate in conversations in Sacramento related to resiliency, sea level rise. Several bills have already been introduced this session, including by Assemblymember Ward and Senator Atkins. Hassan mentioned digital divide in his remarks today. That's also going to be another hot topic in 2021, and we're watching some of the bills that have been introduced in that. And we also expect micromobility legislation to come back. And of course, ongoing conversations around transportation funding and best to continue to balance our mobility and environmental goals throughout the state. So just planting those seeds for now. Lori and I are going to be coming back to you next month at your meeting to talk about our 2021 legislative program with more detail. Just last update from the state before I pass it over to Lori and Hector for our federal and binational and borders updates. Today is a big day in Sacramento because we're expecting Governor Newsom to release his 2021-2022 budget proposal. He has started previewing some of the highlights from that budget over the last week, including more than $4 billion he'll be proposing for the equitable recovery for California's business and jobs plan. That plan is going to be aimed at aiding small businesses and creating jobs, and includes $1.5 billion for efforts to support the implementation and use of electric and hydrogen vehicles. So that's definitely in line with a lot of work that SANDAG is doing. He's also proposed $2 billion to help schools reopen for in-person learning this spring, $300 million for improved vaccine distribution, and a new Golden State stimulus
$600 in direct payments to low-income Californians and extend the current eviction moratorium, as well as providing about $2.6 billion in additional renters assistance. So as usual, a lot going on. We'll continue to keep our eyes on it. Please let us know if you have any questions. We'll pass it over to Laura for our federal update.
Thank you, Robin. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me today. For today's Federal Digest, we have a lot to cover, so I'll try to move through this briskly. After much back and forth as to whether or not the president would sign a joint COVID relief and annual appropriations bill, the president did in fact sign the bill on December 27th, avoiding a government shutdown. This bill includes $900 billion in COVID relief, including $45 billion for transportation. Of that, $14 billion went to transit agencies. San Diego's transit agencies will not receive funds in this go around due to a provision that caps the amount of funding an urbanized area receives from the combination of both the CARES Act and then this bill at 75% of the area's operating budget. The San Diego region, MTS and CTD combined received around 81 to 83% of its 2018 operating budget in the CARES Act. In addition, relief was provided for airports, passenger carriers, broadband, Amtrak, and state DOTs. In terms of the appropriations bill, transportation received $87.6 billion in annual spending, an increase of over $500 million in spending from last year. The bill also includes $1 billion for the BUILD program, one of the major capital programs for the DOT, and $2 billion for the Capital Investment Grant Program. The next year will be chock full of opportunities to influence major transportation policy. SANDAG will continue to engage our delegation to ensure we are positioned in the best light possible for any upcoming opportunities. In the next few months, we look forward to convening our delegation together to highlight our agency priorities. So we'll keep you apprised of how that conversation goes. For other good news, we have a new Congress. On January 3rd, the 117th Congress was sworn in, bringing in 2 new members of Congress for San Diego's House delegation, joining 3 incumbents and 1 new California senator. Shortly thereafter, on January 5th, Georgia held 2 Senate runoff races, which were both won by Democrats, flipping the Senate to a Democratic majority. As a reminder, the House also holds a Democratic majority by a margin of 222 to 211. That's the thinnest margin in decades. With government run by a Democratic majority, we could see a significant progress when it comes to transit, electric vehicle infrastructure, rail, and broadband. But remember, even with the slimmest margin, the Senate often needs 60 votes to pass most legislation. On the same day, the Georgia elections were called. Capitol Hill was also barraged by rioters. It was a difficult and dark day, to say the least. But after hours of unrest, Congress voted to confirm President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris yesterday morning. And because I like to end these presentations on a high note, I wanted to share a pre-holiday gift that we received, and Hassan already mentioned and did a great job of explaining about the $9 million grant that we received from the Federal Highway Administration. The one thing I did want to mention was that SANDAG had previously applied for this grant twice unsuccessfully in the past. And most awards in the past have gone to Department of Transportations and have been for much less than $5 million. The SANDAG team strategically debriefed with the FHWA on our last application and reworked our application to apply what we had learned in that debrief. So we are happy to report that we were successful this time around. And with that, and talking about improvements to border, I think it's a perfect time to pass it over to Hector and to provide his binational update. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm very happy to see you in this new year. The international border remains operating under restrictions, and tourism that normally comes to shop and dine during this season did not come this time. Restrictions have been extended to the end of this month, and unfortunately, not many are speaking of a strategy for an orderly return to normalcy when things improve. Only essential workers and US citizens and residents are crossing the border, as you know. Baja California has remained in the highest level of public health alert, it's colored red in Mexico, with very limited activities. But I want to remind you that manufacturing industry was reclassified to be considered as essential and is employing thousands and they are serving a vital cross-border production lines. Obviously, passenger crossings are below pre-COVID-19, but import-export transactions have increased through all this pandemic crisis. As our executive director mentioned it, and Lori, our Otay Mesa East Port of Entry project continues to develop. And as you heard, our team plans to come with good news to request your approval in receiving funds that were recently granted to the project. And your borders and transportation committees are in line to receive update reports, followed by a detailed report to the board of directors. Also, I'm happy to report that led by Caltrans, our partners, by the end of this month, the 2021 border master plan will be concluded. And this will be completing a monumental binational planning efforts. And just to conclude, I want to remind that this is a political year in Mexico with midterms elections in June and will be affecting the political ambience south of the border in Baja California. And we are planning our annual joint meeting of the Borders Committee with Mexican partners next month in February. And with this, I conclude my report, and I will be glad to answer if you have any questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the updates, everybody. It's interesting to hear all of that. I see Mayor Dedina with his hand up. Go ahead.
I just want to thank Hector and the Sandag staff and the Sandag board for their leadership on Mexico. I think it's a really critical time in U.S.-Mexico relations. We have a new administration in Washington coming on, but I think Sandag has a really strong role to play in the San Diego region and really reframing the US-Mexico relationship. And we have two amazing projects that do the triple win: community betterment, improve the environment, and improve our economy. And I'm talking about Otay 2 and then the Tijuana River. We have $300 million to invest in infrastructure on the United States side of the border. So in all those three projects, we're creating jobs, we're reducing emissions, reducing pollution, and improving the quality of life. So I think strong leadership, robust leadership on the Sandag side by nationally positing this new reframed relationship with productive projects that bring jobs and improve the economy and the environment and help us meet our Paris Climate Treaty agreement, things I've been talking about for 6 years. That's a good thing for us. So I want to personally just thank Hector. He's done an outstanding job and continuing this going. It hasn't been easy, but anyway, I'm excited about that, and I think it's an ongoing, continued role to play. In addition to having shovel-ready projects on our side of the border for all our streets and stuff, that we're all ready to go. So anyway, I think it's a good time for us, and I think strong, bold leadership that's very smart and strategic, as we have been doing with the San Diego Tijuana region, talking about these types of really productive, positive projects that are ready to go will be good for us. So that's all.
Thank you for that recognition of our outstanding staff. Mayor Salas.
Thank you very much for your report, Hector. I was wondering if we have any information relative to how Mexico is handling coronavirus vaccines and whether they're having any difficulty with rollout or even getting the vaccine to Mexico.
Mayor Salas, my understanding is that Mexico has a robust plan to start with vaccines. As you know, there are different options, the Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. Mexico is partnering with Argentina and the United Kingdom on developing the AstraZeneca vaccine. So they bought 70 million of those vaccines but they are behind the Pfizer and Moderna. Right now, there is a special envoy of the Mexican government in Argentina as we speak today. They are looking at the experience on this vaccine. So as a summary, they do have a strong program, but they are behind, of course. The last report I read is that Mexico is like the 4th or the 5th has the 4th or 5th largest vaccination program in the world right now. They are starting, as here in the United States, with the essential workers and elderly people, and they will follow going to rural areas, and unfortunately I don't have all the details in my mind right now.
It'd be nice for us to know what their tier level is and the priority for vaccination, and if there's any way that they're giving consideration for the economic side of it and trans-border commerce.
I can try to get that information for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I don't see any other hands. What about public comment, Francesca? Do we have any?
No, Chair, I don't see any hands.
Okay, well then that concludes our meeting. So I'll adjourn it and see you at 9 for our board meeting. Thank you.